Ron Paul has received an A+ rating from Gun Owners of America. He's a strong proponent of the Second Amendment. Ron Paul is 100% pro-life. He delivered over 4,000 babies as an OBGYN, and he won the Value Voters Summit last year in Washington, D.C. Ron Paul is an advocate of homeschooling and supporting small local farmers, especially the rights of small local farmers to sell raw milk across state lines. In the end, ladies and gentlemen, this is a campaign of liberty, and liberty is popular. Liberty, economic liberty, personal liberty, private property rights, and getting the government out of the way. But electing Ron Paul to the White House is not enough. We have to elect people at all levels of government who believe in liberty. And so, to conclude, I ask this question today for you to think about. With the NDAA, the TSA, and things like Obamacare coming our way, do we want to live in a country that is looking more and more every day like something out of George Orwell's 1984, or do we want to rise up, revive the spirit of 1776, make the necessary sacrifices in order to do so, and restore America now? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had 2 votes for other. We had 4 votes for Newt Gingrich. We had 57 votes for Rick Santorum. We had 80 votes for Mitt Romney and 163 votes for Ron Paul. A week ago, we promised you that we would make sure this vote is known to everyone. I congratulate the Paul campaign in winning the 2012 Washington County Super Caucus, and I hope everybody now can see that our votes will count. Thank you very much.
About Ron Paul, he got like 800 and something. He's the one.
My name is Bob Truigy. I live now in Caucus and owned a drugstore there for 35 years. And I was in World War II as a Navy corpsman. And I was shipped over to England in a hospital unit and worked in the operating room in a Navy hospital in Falmouth, England. And we were there on when D-Day, the 29th Division embarked from Falmouth, England to Omaha Beach. And we got the first casualties back. And so I was there in the blood and the thick of it all. And I'm proud to have served my country, and I'm so happy with the results here, because I think John Paul is a common man, and I think it's time we put a doctor in the White House. Our country is sick, and some of his things are radical, of course, and he'll work out. But basically, he wants the Monroe Doctrine of President Monroe years ago was America for the Americans. We got an ocean on both sides of us, and let Asia take care of themselves, and let Europe take care of themselves, and let the Middle East take care of themselves. We've got enough resources in the Americas, North, Central, South America, and we stop being the policemen of the world. We're bailing everybody out all over the country. And we should get back to our roots, which is faith, family, and friends. And that's why I'm down here. I've traveled down here almost 60 miles to participate in this caucus. And I'm so happy that Ron Paul won 2-1, because he makes sense to me. He wants to get us back to our roots.
Elaine Rivera, Portland, Maine.
Do you remember the results? Because I was out of the room. It was like 163.
You know, to be honest with you, I started crying after I heard that Mitt Romney was third. I knew that Paul had won, and I just...
Yeah, made a good showing here.
Yes, and I was just so happy for everybody. We worked hard.
Yeah. What do you think the most? You've probably learned a lot through this process. What do you think the most effective activity was in spreading the message?
It's a combination of getting out and meeting with the people, and also phone banking, and just educating the people. And people seem to be able to feel comfortable with asking you questions via the phone versus face to face, because they don't really want to feel like they're silly or stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you done phone banking in the past?
No.
No.
No, never. I actually went door to door to the Passamaquoddy Indian tribe last night, and I mean, they were the most wonderful, welcoming people, and it just was a very enlightening experience. I'll go away with a lot from this.
Anything else you'd like to add at all?
This gives me hope.
I'm Nathan Pennell from Whitneyville. This is, fun to be here, but I wish the rest were here.
Right, there are a lot of people on vacation, you said.
Yes, on vacation, tournament time.
How did your caucus turn out? Do you know how the totals were?
Oh yeah, I do, since I'm the only one.
Really? Okay. You're the only one that showed up. Okay.
So I'm the only one that voted.
So how did you vote?
So I voted for just one candidate.
Yeah, in the presidential?
Yes, preference.
Do you mind sharing who it was?
Yeah, Ron Paul.
Ron Paul, okay.
Yeah.
And what is the primary reason that led you to do that? What was the main decision maker?
The main decision was that I won't vote for any candidate who tells me about other candidates. I want to know, I want them to speak for themselves. Where do they stand? So wherever they stand, if they can tell me where they stand, that's great. I'll vote for them.
So Paul won the Washington County Caucus by a 2-1 margin?
Yeah. That's correct. Yep.
So how, probably not enough to put him over the top, though, in Maine.
More than likely not, but we're still going to do the counting. We're still going to check those counties that either misreported or had their caucuses today. There's a couple of towns in Hancock County. We picked up 39 votes there over Mitt Romney. So it's going to all add up. I mean, right now the number's close to 100, right around 100. We're optimistic, but this is a victory for us here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Washington County is solidly behind Congressman Paul. And this is what we need to remember.
How many counties has Paul won in Maine at this point?
He's won several. He won in Androscoggin, basically the 2-1 margin in Androscoggin County. There's Kennebec. He won Kennebec. I don't have a complete count off the top of my head, but there's several, probably half a dozen, maybe more.
Now, what about the delegate game? That still has to be played.
The delegate game, we're engaged with that right now, and I think that's really where the rubber's going to meet the road.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, because we've got a large number of delegates. We have a lot of delegate chairs, caucus, delegate chairs who have a responsibility to fill in those delegate seats, and so we're optimistic that they'll be able to find Ron Paul supporters.
So overall, you're happy with the results today in Washington County?
I am very, very happy. The people in Washington County worked really hard for this, particularly the Ron Paul organization in Washington County. These people that live here worked really hard, and they deserve a really strong pat on the back for what they've done.
Voters Voters in Washington County came together today to hold their snow-delayed caucus. 306 voters got together at Washington Academy in East Machias to weigh in on their choice for their preferred candidate. John Zero was there when the votes came in and joins us live by phone with the results. Hi, John.
Yeah, I was there at the caucus today. There was a strong showing of Republicans out to make their voice heard. In fact, many of them, I heard them saying Washington County matters. In fact, they felt that that their voice was a significant influence and impact on the nomination. Now, as far as the votes go, Ron Paul received 163 votes, almost twice as much as Romney, who received 80, and Santorum was in third place with 57 votes, which is significant because Ron Paul had a large support base at the caucus, as well as Romney, but Santorum, there was virtually no one there with signs encouraging votes for him, which shows to me that there's a significant amount of people in Washington County that support Santorum. Now, despite the votes for Ron Paul and Romney, most people that I talked to said that they felt that the showing was positive for the Republican Party, that despite what the outcome will be for the state, their votes really do matter, and that it unified the party as a whole. We'll have more on the full story coming up later on tonight, Jackie, at 11.
Okay, John Zero with that report. Thank you so much, John. Many towns in Hancock County also caucused today, and again, Ron Paul came out the big winner. Paul won 60 votes across the county. Romney actually came in third with 23 votes. Rick Santorum took second with 25 votes. Gingrich placed fourth with 8 votes. The town of Castine will caucus on March 3rd. The results of all caucuses will be reviewed at the March 10th Republican State Committee meeting. The executive committee has voted unanimously to recommend that they include the results in the final tally.
This is Captain Nick's restaurant, and it's maybe not the local hotspot, but it's a nice little hole in the wall that you can get together and have something to eat. My name is Brian Doherty. I'm from Bangor, Maine. I'm originally from New York. Moved up here about 2.5 years ago, and I'll die a Mainer.
What do you think people can do to keep the pressure on the GOP to make sure this doesn't happen again, and that everybody's held accountable for the debacle?
Get involved. Call. Make phone calls. The first thing I would do is tell you to pick up your phone, call Charlie Webster, call the state GOP, ask them to include the results. I think if you disenfranchise one person, you disenfranchise everybody. So, you know, I'm very happy that they're considering counting the votes for in Washington County. However, you know, being that Hancock County caucused on the same day, I scratch my head wondering why they don't consider counting those votes as well. I mean, voter disenfranchisement is voter disenfranchisement, however you boil it down.
Anything else you want to add at all to
there's some liberty lovers here, and we believe in freedom. We believe in the Constitution. We believe that, you know, Maine's motto is the way life should be, and you know, I'm proud to say that this is the way life should be. People are actually making a viable connection with the presidential candidate, and they're getting involved in the local and state level, and they're, you know, we're making a difference. And it might not show right away the work that has been done, but the seeds have been sown, and in a year, 2 years, we will harvest many, many, many new representatives and senators and governors across the United States, in my hope. So, you know, I got these glasses from my 8-year-old who left them at my house. I've had them for over a year, the longest time I've had these ones.
Click here to donate to support efforts to elect Ron Paul to the White House.